Ramacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki jai. Sri Sad Goswami ki jai. Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Jiva Sadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopinath Shama Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan ki jai. Rajamukhi Dhamma ki jai. Navadvip Mayapur Dhamma ki jai. Jagannath Puri Dhamma ki jai. Gangamaya Yamuna Maya ki jai. Bhakti Devi Tulsi Maharani Bindu Devi ki jai. Samaveda Bhakta Brinda ki jai. Maharaj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Shri Vishant Panchami ki jai. Gaur Premanandi. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. Gaur Premanandi. Hare Krishna. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pastaya Bhutale Srimate Satsvarup Das Goswami Ti Namane. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pastaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namane. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pacharane Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Askita Deshatarane. So it's described that in the Bhagavad Gita there's a purport where it's referencing Advaita Acharya's statement, to Lord Chaitanya when he tricked him after taking sannyas, when he wanted to proceed immediately to Vrindavan, and he actually guided him, chaperoned him, or caused him to, without knowing the proper direction of where he was going, end up back at his house, at Vaitacharya's house in Shantipur. And Lord Chaitanya was pointing out how Lord Nityananda, also an accomplice in this ruse, have tricked me and brought me here, saying that I'm on the bank of the Ganges proceeding up towards Vrindavan. But the fact is that the white lie, so to speak, that they were on the northern side of the Ganges walking, and that's where the Yamuna is flowing from the north, even though it had long ago merged in Bengal as one river. Anyway, so Advaita Acharya said, wherever you are, that is Vrindavan. And Prabhupada in that Bhagavad Gita purport says that the pure devotee can create the Vrindavan atmosphere anywhere in the world he pleases to stay by his pure and empowered devotional service. So that's certainly the case of His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. Not only he is created but established permanent embassies, satellites of Vrindavan in the form of his International Society for Krishna Consciousness and temples. So with that, Vashant Panchami is a time for celebrating spring's arrival. Now, if we look out the door or look at our weather report, we would be very much, what shall we say, confused, bewildered, or even very much disappointed to see that that's not the case where we are right now. I'm missing my glasses, or I don't see where I put them. Won't be able to proceed without. Maybe check the pocket. If it's on the table, check one of the pockets there. Yes? Very good. So this is a little description or definition from ISKCON Vrindavan. Vashant Panchami It's called Panchami because this is the 5th day of the waxing or growing moon of the month of Magh, which is a very sacred month, coming to the full moon. I believe that's on the 31st or the 1st. We could double check. So Vashant Panchami, as a time for celebrating spring's arrival in Vrindavan by honoring Krishna's springtime pastimes, offering him new leaves, flowers, especially yellow. So it's customary that the deities, Shri Radha and Krishna, the divine couple, are dressed in yellow. In Vrindavan, you see there's many, the first flowers that come up, many yellow flowers. So Shri Radha Govinda are dressed in beautiful yellow outfit with green, Vashant outfit. New leaves, flowers, especially yellow, and fresh shoots, playing the Vashant Rag. This is what we were just chanting now for our opening bhajan. That's Vashanta Rag, the melody or raga appropriate for springtime. And performing special artik with yellow flowers, focusing on joyful service and devotion to the Lord, with his teachings emphasizing love for Krishna through bhakti devotion. He specifically praised the beauty of this season, which marks new life, ideal for Krishna's playful activities in the blossoming forests. And a quote from the Bhagavad Gita: of the hymns in the Samaveda, I am the Brihat Sama, and of poetry, I am the Gayatri. Of months, I am Marga Shirsha, November, December. So the preceding month, Marga Shirsha, Damodar, which is the month of Kartik, the month of Damodar, but the presiding deity of the month of Kartik, Kartika Devata, is indeed Sri Radha, Srimati Radharani. So, as we say, Radha, Krishna, Radha, Govinda. So Radha's month comes first, and Krishna's month comes directly afterwards. And of seasons, I am flower-bearing spring. Now, on this glorious day, many great personalities have made their appearance and disappearance. First listed here is Srimati Vishnu Priya Devi. So Vishnu Priya, of course, was the second wife of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu after his first wife, Lakshmi Devi, passed from this world. And she was only 16 years old when Lord Chaitanya took sannyas, and she bore the separation of Lord Chaitanya both as a sannyasi for the next 24 years, and then all the way up to the age, I believe, of 96, she stayed in this world. So for 80 years, she bore the separation of Lord Chaitanya. Lord Chaitanya gave her a beautiful deity of himself to worship, to ease her separation. And that beautiful deity, Dharmeshwar Mahaprabhu, is worshipped with great devotion still to this day in Navadvip city, just on the other side of the Ganges, adjacent to Mayapur. Srimati Vishnu Priya Devi, the second wife of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, is revered in Gaudiya Vaishnavism and ISKCON as an eternal consort and the incarnation of Bhu Shakti, Lord's energy for devotion and sustenance. Daughter of Sanatan Mishra, she married Lord Chaitanya after the passing of his first wife, Lakshmi Priya, and is known for her extreme devotion, sacrifice, and silent life of austerity after the Lord took sannyas at the age of 24. Following Lord Chaitanya's departure for sannyas, she lived in profound separation, dedicating her life to chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, using grains of rice to count her beads, and eating only what she offered. Her life is seen as a supreme example of viraha bhakti, devotion and separation, helping to establish the emotional depth of the Gaudiya tradition. Her appearance. She is described as having beauty surpassing the goddess of fortune, with a compassionate nature that brought the understanding of Shastra to those around her. After Lord Chaitanya left home, she continued to live with and serve his mother, Sachi Devi. She is considered the first disciple of Lord Chaitanya in some traditions. Also today is the day for the worship of goddess Saraswati, Saraswati Puja, the goddess of learning and wisdom. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, today is his Tirobhav, his disappearance. And which biography did you pull up there, not the Bhagavanga? Oh, but Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, you don't? Okay, I have Krishna Kirtan songs, biography of Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. We'll read that. If you could try to find me, I couldn't find where in the Antya-lila, Pundarik Vidyanidhi, on Odan Shasti. I'd prefer the Chaitanya Charitamrita. It is there. There's a reference. Srila Narahari Chakravarti writes as follows, as in Bhakti Ratnakar, my father, Vipra Jagannath, was a disciple of the famous Vishwanath Chakravarti. Vishwanath stands as a remarkable example of Bengali intellect. His place in the Vaishnav world remains unsurpassed as far as erudition, theological knowledge, poetic talent, and appreciation of rasa. He was worshipped by his contemporaries as an example of unblemished ascetic life and an ideal follower of Raga Marg. This is Madhya-lila? It's in the Madhya-lila? Okay, well, the Madhya-lila is over there. Differ in their views regarding Vishwanath's period. According to Shamala Goswami, it was 1726 to 1708, quoted in the book Chaitanyotara Yugera Gaudiya Vaishnava. Another Vaishnav writes that the period was 1646 to 1754. So there's a whole list of different devotees giving different timings for his, but mostly the 1626 to 1708 is taken most accepted. Okay. Vishwanath was born in Devagram. Some believe that this village belongs to, anyway, so there's a lot of detailed information. Vishwanath's family was Brahmin by caste. Could you find a more suitable biography of Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur? This one is not so good. We will come back to Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. Sri Pundarik Vidyanidhi appearance. No, that was... okay, it wasn't working earlier. You have it? Let me see. Appearing in 1638, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, Hari Vallabha Das, came into disciplic succession from Sri Narottam Das Thakur. Vishwanath took Diksha from Sri Radharaman Chakravarti. Although married, Vishwanath was indifferent and soon renounced family life. He came to Vrindavan Dham and did Krishna Bhajan at Radha Kund. Actually, you can see the Bhajan Kutir of Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, next to the place of Samadhi of Raghunath. The Bhajan Kutir of Raghunath Das Goswami. It's actually on the bank of Shamakund. He was known as the crest jewel of the Vaishnavas because of his pure devotion, scholarship, and realized perception of Radha Gokulananda's intimate conjugal pastimes. Gaudiya authorities say that Sri Rupa Goswami is Vagdevatara, an incarnation of the god of speech, and Gaudiya Vaishnavacharyas, especially among his direct disciples, believe that Vishwanath Chakravarti is an incarnation of Sri Rupa Goswami. Among all Gaudiya Vaishnavacharyas, only Vishwanath Chakravarti comes close to matching Srila Rupa Goswami's profound realizations on the absolute truth. Vishwanath Chakravarti's name itself implies his position. Vishwanath means he who reveals the jewel of devotion to Vishwanath, Sri Krishna, the Lord of the universe. Chakravarti means he who expands the chakra circle of bhakti. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur said, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur was the protector, guardian, and acharya during the middle period, 1600 to 1700, of the historical development of Gaudiya Vaishnavism. The growth of Gaudiya Vaishnavism began with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It was later rejuvenated by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, spread by Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, and broadcast all over the world by Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, the founder Acharya of ISKCON. During his stay in Vrindavan, Vishwanath worshipped deities of Radha Gokulananda and Sri Giriraj. His Govardhan Shila was first worshipped by Lord Chaitanya, then Raghunath Das Goswami, Krishna Das Kaviraj, Sri Mukunda Das, Sri Mati Krishna Priya Thakurani, and Vishwanath Chakravarti. Today, this Giriraj Govardhan Shila resides in the Radha Gokulananda Temple in Vrindavan. Some claim the Govardhan Shila is in the Bhagavat Nivas in Ramanreti near the ISKCON Krishna Balaram Temple. In a dream, Lord Sri Krishna ordered Vishwanath to make commentaries on the Goswami's books. Immediately he started writing prolifically. Clouds would shield him from the sun whenever he sat to write. Once a torrential downpour flooded the area where Vishwanath was writing his Bhagavat commentaries. Miraculously, not a drop touched Vishwanath or his Bhagavat manuscript. While compiling Manchartika Deepika explanation of the Kama Gayatri mantra, Vishwanath became perplexed. According to his exhaustive research, which indicated 25, he couldn't substantiate why Krishnadas Kaviraj wrote in Chaitanya Charitamrita that Kama Gayatri contains 24 1/2 syllables, and that these syllables correspond to the 24 1/2 moons present on Krishna's transcendental body. In a dream, Srimati Radhika instructed Vishwanath, "O Vishwanath, please don't lament anymore. What Krishna Das Kaviraj wrote is true. He is also my confidential maidservant, and he knows everything about my most secret, innermost moods. This Kama Gayatri is the mantra for worshiping me. Indeed, I can be known by the syllables of this mantra. Without my mercy, no one can learn anything about the mystery of this mantra." The solution to the half syllable is found in the book Var Nagama Vasvadi. Seeing this book, Krishnadas Kaviraj wrote as he did. The letter Ya, which is followed by the letter V, is in the syllable Kama Devaya Vidmahe, as in the words Kama Devaya Vidmahe, is considered to be a half syllable. This falls on Krishna's forehead because his forehead is shaped like the halo of a half moon. All the other letters of the mantra are full syllables and therefore full moons. Now wake up, check that book, and compile the evidence for everyone's benefit. Instantly awaking, Vishwanath cried out in ecstasy, "Hey, Radhe!" Having Radharani's darshan infused Vishwanath Chakravarti's writing with divine Shakti, he felt that he had been accepted as one of Srimati Radharani's confidential maidservants. His writing reflected this realization. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur wrote over 40 Sanskrit books on the science of pure devotion to Radha Giridhari. He also made the sweetest, most highly realized Rasika Tikas, commentaries on Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, and the works of Srila Rupa Goswami, Kavi Karnapur, and Narottam Das Thakur. Sri Krishna Bhavanamrita, Madhurya Kadambini, Rajriti Chintamani, Chatmakar Chandrika, Svapna Vilasamrita, Sankalpa Kalpa Dhrum, and others. The life and teachings of Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Pad gave happiness, inspiration, transcendental wisdom to the entire Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya. So we also should take note that our Samsaradava, Nalalita Loka prayers, Guru Astakam, are compiled by Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. We sincerely pray after thousands of births we will someday qualify to become a particle of dust under the shade of his lotus feet. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Pad Ki Jai. In Krishna Leela, he serves Srimati Radhika as Vinod Manjari. His samadhi is in the Radha Gokulananda temple courtyard. Sri Pundarik Vidyanidhi. This is from the Chaitanya Charitamrita, chapter Adi Leela, chapter 10, the branches of the Chaitanya tree, text 14. Pundarika Vidyanidhi Bada Takajani Yanra Nama Lana Prabhu Kadila Apani. Pundarik Vidyanidhi, the third big branch, was so dear to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that in his absence, Lord Chaitanya himself would sometimes cry. Purport: in the Gora Gonadesh Deepika, verse number 54, Srila Pundarik Vidyanidhi is described as the father of Srimati Radharani in Krishna Leela. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu therefore treated him as his father. Pundarik Vidyanidhi's father was known as Baneshvar, or according to another opinion, Shuklambar Brahmachari, and his mother's name was Ganga Devi. According to one opinion, Baneshvar was a descendant of Sri Shivaram Gangopadhyaya. So there's information of the original home of Pundarik Vidyanidhi was in East Bengal, now Bangladesh, in a village near Dhaka named Agia. So even though politically the area has changed, it is the sacred land of Lord Chaitanya and his eternal associates, which belong to the Vajendra group of Brahmana families. Sometimes these Virendra Brahmanas were at odds with another group known as the Radiya Brahmanas, and therefore Pundarik Vidyanidhi's family was ostracized and at that time was not living as a respectable family. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur writes in his Anubhasya, one of the members of this family is living in Vrindavan and is named Sorojananda Goswami. One special characteristic of this family is that each of its members had only one son or no son at all, and therefore the family was not very expansive. There was a place in the district of Chattagram in East Bengal that is known as Hatta Ajari, and is a short distance from this place. From this place is a village known as Mekalagram, in which Pundarik Vidyanidhi's forefathers lived. So how to get there and what the temple is like is described. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu called Pundarik Vidyanidhi father and gave him the title Premanidhi. Pundarik Vidyanidhi later became the spiritual master of Gadadhar Pandit and an intimate friend of Swarup Damodar's. Gadadhar Pandit at first misunderstood Pundarik Vidyanidhi to be an ordinary pounds and shillings man, but later, upon being corrected by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he became his disciple. Another incident in the life of Pundarik Vidyanidhi involves his criticizing the priest of the Jagannath temple, which Lord Jagannath chastised him personally by slapping his cheeks. From the Madhya Lila, chapter 16, we're going to begin verse number 77, the Lord's attempt to go to Vrindavan. Swarup Damodar Goswami and Pundarik Vidyanidhi had a friendly, intimate relationship. As far as discussing topics about Krishna, they were situated on the same platform. Pundarik Vidyanidhi initiated Gadadhar Pandit for the second time, and on the day of Odan Shasti, Pundarik Vidyanidhi saw the festival. Purport: at the beginning of winter, there was a ceremony known as the Odan Shasti. This ceremony indicates that from that day forward, a winter covering should be given to Lord Jagannath. That covering is directly purchased from a weaver. According to the Arch and Marg, a cloth should first be washed to remove all the starch, and then it can be used to cover the Lord. Pundarik Vidyanidhi saw that the priest neglected to wash the cloth before covering Lord Jagannath. Since he wanted to find some fault in the devotees, he became indignant. When Pundarik Vidyanidhi saw that Lord Jagannath was given a starched garment, he became a little hateful. In this way, his mind was polluted. That night, the brothers of Lord Jagannath and Balaram came to Pundarik Vidyanidhi and, smiling, began to slap him. Although his cheeks were swollen from the slapping, Pundarik Vidyanidhi was very happy within. This incident has been elaborately described in Chaitanya Bhagavat by Thakur Vrindavan Das. And I don't know, in the original 17-volume printing, there was a painting. Oh, here you go. Lord Balaram and Lord Jagannath are slapping his cheeks. Okay, that's what we got there. Want to show it there? All right. What? Huh? Okay. All right. Now, Raghunandan Thakur, let's see if I... the place. Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Lila, chapter 10, verses 78 through 79. Sri Kandasvasi Mukunda and his son Raghunandan were the 39th branches of the tree. They were all big branches of the all-merciful tree of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. They distributed the fruits and flowers of love of Godhead anywhere and everywhere. So, what is that? Raghunandan? There's no real information in this purport. There's just description of other devotees and locations and places. So could you find something about Raghunandan Thakur? Then, Srila Raghunath Das Goswami, today is his appearance day. Go ahead. Oh. Raghunandan Thakur. Sri Mukundadas, Madhavadas, and Narhari Sakar were three brothers who lived in the village of Sri Khanda. Raghunandan was the son of Sri Mukundadas. In the house of Sri Mukundadas, who lives at Sri Khanda, Lord Sri Gopinath is served with great devotion. One day, Mukunda was called out to do some work, and then he instructed his son Raghunandan to worship the deity and asked him to serve the Lord Gopinath that day. He explained to him that this deity is in our family for many generations, and thus he has been worshipped by my father and his father and his father, on and on. And in this way for many years, just as your mother feeds you, and I every day, so also he has to be fed every day. Having explained to Raghunandan that this is a very big responsibility and he should be very careful to give his full attention to this service, Mukunda went out. Raghunandan, meanwhile, having been instructed by his father, collected the items for offering to Sri Gopinathaji and entered into the deity room. Raghunandan was at that time barely 5 years old, and therefore when he saw that Gopinath hadn't eaten the offering after he had imitated how his father offered the boga, he became very worried. Ultimately, he simply requested Gopinath with tears in his eyes, "Please eat, eat." Gopinath became completely subjected by Raghunandan's simple request, which was made entirely in love, and thus he steadily ate up everything without leaving any remnants. After some time, Raghunandan's father, Mukunda, returned and asked his son if he had done as he was told. When his son replied yes, then Mukunda asked him to bring some of the prasadam. Raghunandan replied, "Prasadam? I offered everything just like you told me, and Gopinath ate everything. So what should I bring you now?" Mukunda was completely taken aback. This boy is not naughty and is always accustomed to speak the truth. I doubt if he could have eaten everything. I wonder what actually happened. Musing on this matter in this way for some time, on another day his curiosity was so stirred that he again requested Raghunandan to offer the boga to Gopinath on that day. On this day, however, having gone out of the house, he again came in by another way and remained hiding in one place. Raghunandan was very happy to be able to serve Sri Gopinathaji again and brought everything into the deity room. As before, he again very insistently persuaded Gopinath to take his meal. As Gopinath had eaten half of a laddu, he espied Mukunda peering out from his hiding spot. He didn't try to cover up the fact that he had eaten what he had, but neither did he eat any more. Seeing all this, Mukunda was completely immersed in ecstatic love and picked up his son and put him on his lap. He extolled his virtues in a voice trembling with ecstasy. All the while, torrents of tears of joy falling from his eyes. Even today, those who are greatly fortunate can still see that half-eaten laddu in Gopinath's lotus hand. Thus, Sri Uddhav Das sings the glories of Raghunandan, who is non-different from Madan Cupid. Raghunandan was present at the Katori Utsav. In Krishna Lila, he was Kandarpa Manjari, and in Dwarka Lila, he was Sri Krishna's son, Kandarpa. Raghunandan's son is Kanai Thakur. His descendants are still residing at Sri Khanda. Sri Khanda can be easily reached from Kota by bus or train. He was born in the year 1432, Sakabda. This is the deity, or it's a different deity? Just the deity. Okay. All right. Text number The branches of the tree of Lord Chaitanya, Adi Lila, chapter 10, verse 91. Mahaprabhura Priya Britya Raghunatha Dasa Sarvityaji Kaila Prabhur Pada Tala Vas Tali Vasa. Sri Raghunath Das Goswami, the 46th branch of the tree, was one of the most dear servants of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He left all his material possessions to surrender completely unto the Lord and live at his lotus feet. Purport. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur writes in his Anubhasya, Srila Raghunath Das Goswami was most probably born in the year 1416 Sakabda AD 1494. He was 8 years younger than Lord Chaitanya. In a Kyasta family as the son of Govardhan Majumdar, who was the younger brother of the then Zamindar Hiranya Majumdar. The village where he took his birth is known as Sri Krishnapur. On the railway line between Calcutta and Burdwan is a station named Trishabaga, now known as Adi Saptagram, and about 1.5 miles away is the village of Sri Krishnapura, where the parental home of Sri Raghunath Das Goswami was situated. The temple of Sri Radha Govinda is still there. In front of the temple is a large open area, but no large hall for devotees to assemble. A rich Calcutta gentleman named Hari Charan Ghosh, who resided in the Simla quarter, recently repaired the temple. The entire temple compound is surrounded by walls, and in a small room just to the side of the temple is a small platform on which Raghunath Das Goswami used to worship the deity. By the side of the temple is the dying river Saraswati. The forefathers of Srila Raghunath Das Goswami were all Vaishnavas and were very rich men. His spiritual master at home was Yadunandan Acharya. Although Raghunath Das was a family man, he had no attachment for his estate and wife. Seeing his tendency to leave home, his father and uncle engaged special bodyguards to watch over him, but nevertheless he managed to escape their vigilance and went away to Jagannath Puri to meet Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. This incident took place in the year 1439, Sakabda AD 1517. Raghunath Das Goswami compiled 3 books named Stavamala or Stavavali, Dana Charita, and Mukta Charita. He lived a long time, residing for most of his life at Radhakund. The place where Raghunath Das Goswami performed his devotional service still exists by Radhakund. He almost completely gave up eating, and therefore he was very skinny and of weak health. His only concern was to chant the holy name of the Lord. He gradually reduced his sleeping until he was almost not sleeping at all. It is said that his eyes were always full of tears. When Srinivasa Acharya went to see Raghunath Das Goswami, the Goswami blessed him by embracing him. Srinivasa Acharya requested his blessings for preaching in Bengal, and Raghunath Das Goswami granted them. In the Gorgonadesh Deepika 186, it is stated that Srila Raghunath Das Goswami was formerly the gopi named Rasa Manjari. Sometimes it is said that he was Rati Manjari. Text 92. When Raghunath Das Goswami approached Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu at Jagannath Puri, the Lord entrusted him to the care of Swarup Damodar, his secretary. Thus they both engaged in the confidential service of the Lord. Purport. This confidential service was the personal care of the Lord. Swarup Damodar, acting as his secretary, attended the Lord's baths, meals, and rest and massages. And Raghunath Das Goswami assisted him. In effect, Raghunath Das Goswami acted as the assistant secretary of the Lord. He rendered, text 93, he rendered confidential service to the Lord for 16 years at Jagannath Puri. So the other Goswamis, Rupa and Sanatan, they stayed for a substantial visit. I think, Sanatan Goswami stayed for 10 months? And they were sent back to Vrindavan. Lord Chaitanya actually told them, I will visit there a second time, but he never did. Whereas Raghunath Das Goswami was kept from the time of his arrival for 16 years, up until the Lord's departure. And we understand that Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami would later, when Raghunath Das Goswami came to Vrindavan, he was so distraught in his separation, he was contemplating suicide, jumping from Govardhan Hill. But Rupa and Sanatan said, no, you must stay alive, and one of your main services henceforward is to discourse daily for 3 hours on the pastimes and activities of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Jagannath Puri. And Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami was hearing those talks, and from that, and also the notebooks of Swarup Damodar, he compiled the epic Chaitanya Charitamrita with a special emphasis on the Antya Lila, which was not readily known or understood, or what to speak of written in the other major biographies of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, such as Chaitanya Bhagavat and Chaitanya Mangala. He rendered confidential service to the Lord for 16 years at Jagannath Puri, and after the disappearance of both the Lord and Swarup Damodar, he left Jagannath Puri and went to Vrindavan. Srila Raghunath Das Goswami intended to go to Vrindavan to see the lotus feet of Rupa and Sanatan, and then give up his life by jumping from Govardhan Hill. Jumping from the top of Govardhan Hill is a system of suicide, especially performed by saintly persons. After the disappearance of Lord Chaitanya and Swarup Damodar, Raghunath Das Goswami keenly felt separation from these two exalted personalities, and therefore decided to give up his life by jumping from Govardhan Hill in Vrindavan. Before doing so, however, he wanted to see the lotus feet of Rupa and Sanatan Goswamis. These two brothers, however, did not allow him to die. They accepted him as their third brother and kept him in their company. This is a very nice example. Rupa and Sanatan, they're blood family members, whereas Raghunath Das Goswami is not, but because the spiritual connection of their shared relationship with the Lord was so great that it made their relationship so much better or more meaningful than ordinary blood brothers. So we should aspire to have such relationships amongst ourselves, and that we can make ourselves fit to be able to reciprocate with others on that platform. And kept them in their company. Because Raghunath Das Goswami was an assistant to Swarup Damodar, he knew much about the external and internal features of the pastimes of Lord Chaitanya. Thus the two brothers, Rupa and Sanatan, always used to hear of this from him. Raghunath Das Goswami gradually gave up all food and drink, but a few drops of buttermilk. As a daily duty, he regularly offered 1,000 obeisances to the Lord, chanted at least 100,000 holy names, and offered obeisances to 2,000 Vaishnavas. Day and night he rendered service within his mind to Radha and Krishna, and for 3 hours a day he discoursed about the characteristics of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Purport: we have many things to learn about bhajan, or worship of the Lord, by following the footsteps of Raghunath Das Goswami. Following and imitating are two drastically distinct different things. All the Goswamis engaged in such transcendental activities described by Srinivas Acharya in his poem about them, Krishna Kirtana Gana Natanaparo Premam Ritambo Nidhi. Following in the footsteps of Raghunath Das Goswami, Srila Rupa and Sanatan Goswami, one has to execute devotional service very strictly, specifically by chanting the holy name of the Lord. Sri Raghunath Das Goswami took 3 baths daily in the Radhakund lake. As soon as he found a Vaishnava residing in Vrindavan, he would embrace him and give him all respect. He engaged himself in devotional service for more than 22 and a half hours a day, and for less than 2 hours he slept, although on some days that also was not possible. I am struck with wonder when I hear about the devotional service he executed. I accept Srila Rupa Goswami and Raghunath Das Goswamis as my guides. Purport: Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj accepted Raghunath Das Goswami as his special guide. Therefore, at the end of every chapter, he says, Sri Rupa Raghunatha Padi Yara As Chaitanya Charitamrita Kahe Krishna Das. I shall later explain very elaborately how all these devotees met Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And also, it's not stated here, but on this day, Dukhi Krishna Das was given the name Shamananda Prabhu by Her Supreme Majesty Srimati Radharani herself. So he was given the name Shamananda, a unique and specific tilak, which the disciplic succession from Shamananda Prabhu still wear to this day. And Srimati Radharani, from her own heart, manifested the deity of Shamasundar. So at the Radha Shamasundar temple in Vrindavan, which if you're in Lohi Bazaar and you want to walk to the Radha Damodar temple, you'll come upon the Shamasundar temple first. This is taken as the appearance day of Sri Sri Radha Shamasundar. So what literature describes this pastime? You didn't look it up. A very lengthy description is available, perhaps Bhatni Ratnakar. So we can conclude here and leave a few minutes for any questions, comments, or contributions. Hare Krishna. We mentioned that. I didn't delve into the specifics. Yes. Because of the different flowers that grow in Vrindavan. And the deities are meant to be dressed in yellow. So here, Radha Govinda are wearing Vashant Panchami outfit. Where's the microphone? Okay.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, can you speak about, you spoke about Pundarik Vidyanidhi, how he became the exalted spiritual master of Gadadhar Pandit, but also he had made an offense to the devotees worshipping Lord Jagannath. Was that before or after or in the contextual?
I don't know the chronology. Maybe Tulsi Prabhu knows that.
Well, logically it looks like it's after.
You have to speak slower, and maybe this could be made louder.
Logically.
This is a tip for everybody. Don't speak fast, because it's like 50% garbled already in the sound system. So if you speak fast, it's like, at least I find I understand like maybe 20 or 25% of what you're saying if you speak fast. So speaking slowly.
So logically, it should be after, because it was mentioned in what you have read that during this Odana Shasti festival, he gave second initiation to Gadadhar Pandit. So it looks like the first was before that, when they met in Pundarik Dham. And I remember when we went with Kadamba Kana Maharaj in Bangladesh for a tour, we went to this place, we celebrated Govardhan Puja in Pundarik Dham. It's a big farm, a ISKCON farm. And not far from there, maybe 10 minutes walk from there, is the house of Vasudeva Datta and Mukunda Datta. So they were also living close by, they were associating with. That's why they knew about the glory of Pundarika Vidyanidhi, and that's why Mukunda Datta brought Gadadhar to him.
Jai. That was your question? Thus it is answered. Anything else? You have something to add, Gopal, Pran?
Well, today being very auspicious.
I can't hear. It's not loud enough.
Today being very auspicious day, I always felt like the season changes so beautifully every time, and it attracts Krishna like anything. Every season
Yeah.
just attracts Krishna like anything, and especially this season and the Damodar season are like very special for Krishna, because this is the beginning of playing of Holi in Vrindavan.
Right. That's another important point.
Yes. They start playing Holi from this day till Gaur Purnima. Every day there is different types of Holi for Radha and Krishna.
So that's basically like nearly 40 days.
Yes.
10 more days for the month of Magh and then a full for the month of Falgun.
Yes. So it's like very special time where, and in Vrindavan they celebrate most of the temples. They celebrate 40 different Holis, at least
40 different?
40 different ways of celebrating
One
Holi.
for each day?
Yes, each day. Today is like with the flowers. There are like different ways they celebrate the Holi.
Wow.
One is with laddu. They make laddus, and that is a different type of Holi. There are like a lot of different ways of celebrating Holi. Not just with
this
colors.
is to take darshan of the deities in Vrindavan. This is one of the, and I think the yellow room in the Shahaji temple, the twisted pillar temple, which was in 1876 built for the transfer of Radha Raman. These two very wealthy jeweler brothers from Lucknow had built this temple, twisted pillar temple, Shahaji temple. You know it. If you go to the end of Lowy Bazaar and you make a left, you'd come right into it. It has demigod statues around and like that. So they have a yellow room, which is like, very elaborate and ornate, many different lights and paintings and crystal decorations. And they only open it twice a year.
Oh.
Today and Balaram Jayanti, Balaram Purnima, later in August. So that's on this day also. And if you go to the Radha Shama Sundar temple, just like, if we celebrate, this is the anniversary of the installation of our deities. We have a big festival, so they have a big festival there too. Yeah, very nice. I remember one year I went and they had like a Rasa Leela on a kind of, what are those things? Not like a merry-go-round kind of thing. In the courtyard, yeah, and they had the special kirtan going on the stage. And Shyamananda Prabhu's Bhajan Kutir has been excavated in recent years, and you could, by that kirtan mandap, there's a door, and you go down these steps, and you see like ancient bricks that are like 300 or 400 years old, and like narrow come down there, and a little claustrophobic, but they have way underground. They have a Bhajan Kutir for Shyamananda. Well, we should be so strong in our preaching and Krishna consciousness here that we ultimately changed New York City weather to mirror the Holy Land. Because it said that wherever there is severe cold and snow and no sunshine, we should know that there's a place inhabited by very sinful people. So we want to change that, and not just Vrindavan, to the extent that we can feel Vrindavan atmosphere here in the temple, we want to expand and extend that outside also. So it's seemingly an impossible task, a monumental task, but we should try for it. and in a selfless mood, you know, offer our contribution to do this for future generations of Vaishnavas, to continue the effort till one day that glorious dream will come true. Just like we pray to the Goswamis, when will Srila Rupa Goswami was established within this material world, the mission to fulfill the desire of Lord Chaitanya, give me shelter under his lotus feet. Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Shri Shri Radha Govinda ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanandi Hari Bol. Vanchakalparubhyascha Kripasidubhyevacha Patita